Hi readers, how are you? Today I've come back to tell you the story of what I've been doing since we've been off from school. But first I want you to meet Ellie. Ellie is my little beagle and I've had Ellie for about 3 years now. Ellie came to live with me when Mrs. Davis was feeling really sad. About 3 years ago, all of my children were getting grown up and very big and moving out and starting their own lives, and it left my house very quiet. But Ellie came in and she filled that big hole that was missing in my heart. So Ellie and I go on walks every day. I pet her every day. She lays with me every day. She loves cookies. Ellie loves cookies an awful lot. And recently I was thinking to myself, Ellie has been such a good friend to me that I wanted to do something for Ellie. So lots and lots of people who have beagles sometimes don't really treat them very nicely. And I thought that since Ellie had been such a good friend to me, I wanted to be a good friend to a beagle. So we contacted a beagle rescue organization that rescues beagles from down south in Tennessee, and I got myself a new friend, and so did Ellie. So let me have you meet my new friend, Daisy. All right, boys and girls, meet Daisy. Daisy is our new beagle doggie that has come to live with us. She is a year old, and she was a stray down in Tennessee. If you're a stray, that means that you don't have a home. So she had to have a couple surgeries before she could come to live with us, but we just got her last week, Friday, and she is such a sweetheart. When we were looking at all of the beagles, we thought to ourselves, oh, Daisy, you weren't really the prettiest beagle there, but you had the biggest heart. She wanted to play with all of the other beagles and give lots of kisses, and so Daisy has come to live at our house. And she and Ellie are getting along really well. Daisy loves Ellie. At night, she likes to curl up in Ellie's belly and snuggle down like she is her best friend. So Daisy is going to live with us now, and we love her a whole lot. All right, readers, so I wanted to share this story with you called How Royal Dogness Guide the Beagle, the remarkable true story of Meghan Markle's rescue dog. Meghan Markle, if you don't know, is a duchess, and she lives over in England with Prince Harry. And Meghan Markle, like Mrs. Davis, rescued a beagle, and here is their story. His Royal Dogness Guy the Beagle. My story begins, like many, in the woods of Kentucky. I was lost and living alone, surrounded by tulip trees, myrtle bushes, and cranky squirrels. But as luck would have it, a nice person found me and moved me to an animal shelter. I soon learned that an animal shelter is a lot like a public restroom. You want to spend as little time in one as possible. Sadly, despite my best tail wags, no one in Kentucky came to adopt me. I'm not sure why. My ears are like velvet, my paws smell like corn chips, and I have a superior sniffing nose. I'm a catch. So I was packed up and sent to an adoption event in Toronto, Canada. And that's where I met her, my forever owner, Meghan Markle. I absolutely adored Meghan. Meghan and I did everything together. We went on walks, we played fetch, we even binge-watched TV shows like The Suits. But I wasn't the only one. A human loved Meghan too. His name was Harry. He was tall, debonair, had hair the color of a traffic cone, but more important, he was a prince. The kind you read about in fairy tales and supermarket tabloids. Prince Harry loved Meghan so much, he asked her to marry him, which meant Meghan and I were going to be a duchess, and I was going to be a royal dog. I was so excited that I chased my tail for 24 hours straight. But I was also nervous. After all, I didn't have fancy pedigree papers. I was just a regular dog who put his collar on one neck at a time. I wasn't sure that I would fit in. I knew Meghan had to get the Queen's consent to marry Harry. But would she welcome me to the royal family too? Meghan scratched my head and said, "Don't worry, Guy. The royal family loves dogs, especially Queen Elizabeth. They'll fall in love with you, your velvety ears, and your corn-chip paws, just like I did. It made me feel better. So off to England we went to start our new lives at Kensington Palace. And what a palace it was. There were huge fireplaces to curl up next to, antique furniture legs to gnaw on, and the royal guards were all wearing black poodles on their head for some reason. The palace gardens were incredible too. There were so many proper and well-mannered squirrels. It was dog heaven. But my transition to English life wasn't all kibbles and roses. I was confused by their customs. In England, dogs go to the bathroom on the left side of the hydrant. Instead of sneakers, they chew on trainers. And my doggy sweater was replaced with something called a doggy jumper. Things got bad when I met Queen Elizabeth's royal canines, Sir Vulcan the Great and Madame Candy the equally great. "Hello," I said. "Pippio, cheerio, Cobbly-Walls. Bob's your uncle," replied Vulcan. "Pardon me," I said. "I don't speak Britain." "Very well," said Vulcan. "As a royal dog, you never say an uncouth hello when meeting someone. You bow your neck like this." "Oh, I'm sorry," I said. No, said Candy. "You never say I'm sorry either. You blame it on the Prime Minister, such as the Prime Minister is the one who made that mess on the carpet." I was embarrassed. I had so much to learn about being a royal dog. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry were busy getting ready for their wedding. There were gowns to try on, cakes to taste, flowers to arrange, and handwritten wedding invitations to send out to all 65 million Brits. They inspired me. I was determined to be the perfect royal dog for them. So I enrolled in a prestigious Westminster Doggy Obedience Academy, which boasts such illustrious graduates as Winston Barkhill, Charles Dogwin, and Ringo Starr, who was a Beatle. But despite all my training, I kept messing up. I shed hair on the throne. I ate half of Prince Charles' Cornish Yarg sandwich. I dragged my butt on the palace carpets. I ate the other half of Prince Charles' Cornish Yarg sandwich. Things got so bad that Vulcan pulled me to the side and said, "Tally-ho, you're off the trolley, you cheeky chuckaboo," which roughly translates to, "You'll never get the Queen's consent to be a royal dog acting like that." And the English paparazzi? Oh, where they were equally unkind. I felt like I was back in the woods of Kentucky, lost and alone. And then the big day came, the royal wedding. It was incredible. The pageantry, the crowds, the ridiculous hats. Meghan looked gorgeous. Harry looked handsome. Everything was absolutely perfect. Everything except for one thing, me. Who was I fooling? I wasn't a royal dog. I was going to ruin Meghan and Harry's special day. I was feeling hopeless when in walked Queen Elizabeth. She looked upset, and I thought for sure it was because of me. But to my surprise, the Queen said, "Oh dear, Guy, I can't find the sprig of myrtle for Meghan's bouquet. It's been a part of every royal bouquet since the 1840s. I simply must find another one." I knew what I had to do. I ran out the doggy door, put my superior beagle nose to the ground, and searched the palace grounds for the myrtle plant, a scent I knew all too well from my days in the Kentucky woods. I sniffed on top of statues. I sniffed in the fountain. I sniffed around hedges. I sniffed everywhere until, brilliant, I found it. I grabbed a small sprig in my teeth and ran back to the Queen as fast as my legs would carry me, feeling right chuffed. Hey, I was getting the hang of this British stuff after all. The Queen was overjoyed. Even Vulcan and Candy were impressed, shouting, "Scrummy hunky-dory," which translates to, "You're a good boy." Seizing the moment, I climbed up the Queen's lap and asked, "Your Majesty, may I now please be a royal dog?" The Queen just laughed and said, "My dear Guy, you don't have to save the day to be a royal dog, and it doesn't matter if you're a purebred corgi from Wales or a stray dog from Kentucky. All that matters is that after the wedding, we will be a family." "Really?" I said, moved. "Yes," said the Queen. You don't have to be something that you're not. You only have to be what you are. And what you are is a smart little beagle with velvety ears who is loved by Megan and Harry and now me. I smiled and licked the Queen's face. I was about to become a royal dog. With that, the Queen leapt to her feet, well, slowly got up, she is 92 years old, and said, "Let's go for a ride, Guy. We have to get this bouquet to Megan." "Can we both stick our heads out the window?" I asked. "Absolutely," said the Queen, and that's exactly what we did, all the way to the royal wedding. The end. And that is called His Royal Dogness, Guy the Beagle. Boys and girls, thank you for listening to my story today. And I plan on putting up another story tomorrow about Women's History Month. The whole month of March is called Women's History Month, and I am going to celebrate it tomorrow, sharing some good stories with you about famous women. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye, readers.